Welcome everyone to Professor Hemlock's Study. Today we are going to go over an RBG match I had at an over 1900 MMR rating. And this game is at Seething Shores. So before we get deep into this, I want to let everyone know I had previously posted a RBG breakdown video of conduits, soulbinds, and talents. If you're interested in learning that aspect of how to play Arcane Mage, please refer back to that video. Today, I'm just going to go over a breakdown on how to play this strategy. So I am the shot caller for our RBG group, so I definitely am trying to do a lot at once, and I make a lot of mistakes in this video. So this is a really good learning video, I think. Generically, let's talk about strategy first here, though. So at Seething Shores, we want to have a 3-team strategy. We have a tank and a healer, and 2 groups of 4, okay? So the tank and our healer, in this case for us, is Stelio and Viva. And then we have our 2 DPS groups, which are 1 healer in each and 3 DPS. So essentially note that strategy is going to kind of be how we play this. Our goal is to have a tank group, which is entirely to rotate and spin, and 2 DPS groups, which are to take advantage of and capitalize off of our tank group just holding and spinning, while our 2 DPS groups try and stay closer together at the 2 closest points on the map, and we capitalize off of that advantage and push those nodes back and forth, okay? So that's generically the strategy here. We do open this with a little bit of a change in positioning. We initially were going to drop at the southernmost node, but changed because the Demon Hunter tank dropped that southernmost node, and we want to drop on another node. The tank group should try and drop where the enemy tank is going to drop, and they just get into an endless spin war. So right there in the open, I do pop all my cooldowns right off the bat to ensure that we can get this Windwalker down prior to ever being able to have them like contest the node, right? So it ended up working out really well. We got that first node right off the bat. We did unfortunately have our tank group lose a node. In that opener there, you saw me spamming arcane missiles a lot. I should have used arcane blast. So right now I actually have 3 charges of presence of mind on me, and I'm making the mistake of spamming missiles here. I believe what I'm actively doing is looking at the map and trying to assess positionally on what to do and making callouts right now. I'm not focusing on my DPS rotation enough. So this was a failing on my part. And I do this quite often throughout this RBG, where you'll see me using arcane missiles as a DPS filler there. Right there, that was a pretty good move. The mage had PI on them, so we could tell the mage was going for a burst setup. So I instantly kleptomania'd the mage, removed all of his buffs, and then we were able to secure a kill on this mage. Now, right here, looking at the team fight, right? So we have a 4-man team, and we currently have about 6 to 7 enemies that are engaging against us at this position. So when you're in this type of situation on an RBG match, what you want to do with using our strategy, if you're doing the 4-4-2 strategy, what you'll want to do is turn this into a spin, right? We're not actively trying to win the position right now, because if they have 6 people holding up this node, odds are our other team of 4 are going to have an even or an advantage matchup, and we're hoping that they can capitalize off this advantage. We hold and spin, while they essentially go and cap points back to back. So right here, due to I'm abusing Arcane Missiles casts, although Arcane Missiles does a lot of damage, and I wasn't using my Presence of Mind effectively enough, I do get kicked, and that kind of locks me out. Now right here, what I'm trying to really do is I'm trying to effectively position myself to make sure that we're spinning as much as possible. Our healer there did drop the Spirit Link. Unfortunately, we had no one able to get into the Spirit Link quick enough, and our healer did go down there. So you're about to see our DPS unfold very quickly. These are big mistakes. Our healer didn't call out that he dropped the link there, so we weren't able to be in the link. And then positionally, I was in a bad position as well. I could have been using more polymorphs. I could have been using a better damage rotation. I did have a P back off cooldown. We could have applied more counter pressure, right? So those were several mistakes that we could have corrected and made better here. So currently, we're playing as Alliance, everyone, so that is something to note too. Look at the scoreboard here. We are currently down points. Now, when I'm dropping off here, I'm going to try and make sure that we are, again, aggressing that position that's closest to our other team of 4. So if we cap our point, our other team of 4 can rotate as well. So we're sitting, both of our 2 teams of 4 are at the northernmost nodes, positioned in between each other here. So this is great. Great positioning, and everyone is in a good position to where we can double DPS if we need to. Now, super embarrassing. I accidentally fat finger arcane power there instead of my my mount button. Oh, Professor started off having an off night that night, I'm pretty sure. So now we have no AP, so bad news. We do go into a heavy damage rotation, and we're able to get the rogue to use major defensives here. I'm taking a ton of damage right here. I don't have invis, I don't have block, and I don't have mirror images. So for me, when I'm in this damage situation, you can kind of see what I did there. I just really shimmered away and ran to the outside edge of the combat zone. This most often in RBGs will push people away from you because they don't want to give up the central control of the node. That central control over the node is of primary importance for capping the node. So if you push off the node, you're less likely to take pressure. We do get a really good polymorph on the healer there. Unfortunately, our boomkin breaks it instantaneously. Now this warrior is pushing out here. I know I have a spinner at this node, so I want to try and punish this warrior for leaving by killing him. That way, what we can do now is if this warrior it falls, they're down a player at any other node. So we do capitalize off that, which is really good. Now, right here, I get a polymorph on the bear druid, which is kind of crazy to think that that happened. He just got out of bear too long. Now, at this point, we're playing in these middle nodes, and it's becoming a true team fight where they have their whole team there, and we have their whole team there. Right now, since in RBGs you have a lot of mana, so you're not really worried too much about it. You get kicked, that's a lot of mana regen time. I do fall here. I have no defensives available, which is really good. But you kind of know how I died in the middle on the node there. If I had been more aware that we were at a risk of dying, I probably would have used my soul shape ability to get to the outside of that node. That way I would be at less risk of taking pressure from all of the melee DPS. So if I'd have been a little bit more positionally aware there, I might have been able to survive a little bit longer. Now it does look like we did win the southern node, so now that we've got that node and we won one of our team fights at the other node, I'm going to push ahead to our next node point. It looks like our tank comes in, and since there's no contest at this node, I'm going to rotate on to our next position. Now we're currently doing our 4-4-2 split. Our tank, you can kind of see there on the map, our shaman is pushing towards our tank to give backup. I'm pushing back up to my group. I dropped at that node because the tank was not there yet, and I wanted to ensure that we would have some contest form at that node. And we were at a winning position on our other team fights here. Unfortunately, due to that, we kind of do have a little bit of a bad position here. We have our team just starting to drop on this node when we have one of our healers dying. Unfortunately for us, good news though, is when we do drop, we have AP. We're able to AP, use our big cooldowns, and we're able to straight up eliminate that rogue. Now the bad news here is that is a tank demon hunter at this node. So it's not a lot of value to try and kill a tank in an RBG match. Tanks are extremely difficult to kill, especially when they have a healer alive. So here we're going to be targeting the healer, and we're going to be able to try and apply as much pressure as possible. We do have to watch out for this mage. This mage is going to have combust very often. We can see it right there. Look what just happened right there. It was a really great example of what you should do when you see that mage positioning. So right there, I'm assuming he's been fireballing a lot. So I know he's going to have that combust. So I'm ready. I'm ready to swap. I targeted him before he even combusted because I was aware the combust was going to happen. I was going to poly him, but instead I cancel poly. And then you can see right there, I use Kleptomania, and I have bound to my X key, I have a cancel aura macro for combustion. So within, this was one of my best plays I made this whole RBG, was positionally being aware of what's going on, right? I know this mage is fireballing. I know he has combustion. I'm making myself abled and ready to get that combust instantly. And right there, it's exactly what happened. He got absolutely zero use out of that combust. He got less than a second. Less than a quarter of a second out of that combust. That dude had combust on, and it got yanked right off. So that's great. That was a really good job. Now, here we're trying to go back into a damage rotation, and we're trying to kill the rogue generically. But there is that Demon Hunter tank here, so this is going to become it's still a hard node to win, and we can't really expect to win this node that often, just because that tank is going to be there and really fighting against us. But what we're hoping again is that our other two squads are able to get points, continually take points, while we're holding up more players or an equal number of players on our end. So right there, the mage does get PI'd, and look what happened. The second that mage PI'd, I kleptoed that thing right off. And we're able to get the finish on the mage. Right there, our Shadow Priest had a great silence on their Priest. We're actually using Arcane Blast instead of just spamming missiles. We get the cap. Now we're going for a crowd control cap here on the Demon Hunter, but it looks like the Windwalker Monk is going to come and aggress. So that's something you can always do. If you have good enough team coordination, you're able to crowd control someone into a full cap. So right there, I call that I'm swapping my poly on, but now there's 3 players. We can no longer win on crowd control. We go into an AP burst rotation. Right there, I had Presence of Mind available. I had everything ready. What I should have done was I absolutely should have used Presence of Mind, Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast, Arcane Blast, and then started to use my clear casts. Instead, I got kicked, and I was punished dramatically by taking a bunch of damage from the Windwalker Monk and not dealing any damage. So generically, that was just a really bad situation. Their whole team is dropping in now, so now we're behind, and all we're trying to do is spin the node, and of course we fall to being largely outnumbered. But you can look at the scoreboard this whole time. Stelio has our tank, and he has been capping nodes the whole time. He got 3 nodes during that whole time we were spinning that fight. So generically, it was just really, really good. We had our tank just going and capping nodes. Because we're using that 3-team strategy, there's always 3 nodes available, and we're trying to keep our big teams either spinning or capping based on numbers victories. And you can see our tank group is at that far north node there on the map. So we're going to drop down a crash site in the far southern section here. Now at this point, we're in a really good winning position. My healer and the rest of my group has arrived. So now in this position right here, we're expecting enemies to start aggressing our position because we're currently winning. They need to start capping every node or at least spinning every node. So we're going to leave our healer at that node, and then our DPS players are going to push off. Unless our healer calls for it, we will not push back off. So our healer capped the node. Perfect. Now we're going to try and take advantage of our position. We got the advantage there, so now we can come in and do a lot of damage. So something I should have done differently here, I should have stayed back and used Arcane Power instead of aggressing in and using Arcane Power. It does end up working out because I'm able to secure the kill on that Windwalker Monk because he tried running away, and if I was too far back it wouldn't have worked, but that was a definitely not correct decision overall. Now here, I do get both the melee DPS on me because I'm pulled away. Gonna get Shattering Throwed, but I Nova, and now I'm just hitting slow on them. I slow both of them, and now I'm just running away. So I've peeled both of those melee away from me. I Nova'd and have them slowed. So now our team position, you can see how all of a sudden this is just a better position to be in, right? So that was a pretty smooth move there, getting them Nova'd and then applying slow to them. So we were able to apply a lot more team pressure at the fight for at least 5 seconds plus, right? And it looks like this Paladin's about to get barraged real big. And he does. And he gets dropped. Love it. Now, again, we see we tapped another point here. So now we have numbers advantage. We're securing kills. And we should win this node, but there is a druid who is just going to try and spin for his life and does not get it. Now, at this point, I'm hoping the team crowd controls, or they just kill the guy really quick, and that's what happens. We get the point and we're moving on, and we are 1 cap away from victory. So you can kind of see how effective that strategy is there. This game was at 1940 MMR. Really, just really well executed team play on this one. A couple mistakes I made there a few times were using missiles instead of Arcane Blast when I had 4 charges and I was looking to get someone down quickly with Arcane Power. That is something I should have been more aware of instead of just going for the Arcane Missiles damage, even though missiles can do a substantial amount of damage. A couple good plays, though, being aware of my spell steal. Klepto, really good awareness on that mage there, and then later again on the same mage, preventing him from getting the PI, and I'm sure he was wanting to combust in that same situation as well. So overall, really good at preventing damage there. Slowing the melee DPS, applying slow to the melee DPS, really good. Using barrage, tab targeting, and making sure we're getting those executes in, also really effective. And then rotating really effectively with our team using that 4-4-2 strategy that we did for this map. And it turned out to be really well. Make sure to get your polymorphs off. I needed to work more on that too. In RBG, polymorph is so easily broken. Sometimes it can feel non-rewarding to do polymorph. But make sure you're trying to polymorph the people on the outside of the battleground. Positionally, I died a couple times because I was too close to a node. So I should make sure I'm pushing off of a node. If they're looking to target me as their kill target. Otherwise, we can play in the center if we're looking to spin the flag. Arcane Explosion's great for spinning. I hope everyone enjoyed the video breakdown of this RBG. Thank everyone for watching. Please like, comment if you have any questions or any other ways for me to improve. I'm always open to improving more. Anyways, everyone have a great week. And thank you for watching another video from Brofessor Study.